Hey everyone, AquaTwist here. 2 years. It's been that long since GoobnBalloons began development. I've known most of the development team for the last 5 or 6 years since we went to the same college together for game design. And to see their game finally release, let alone on consoles, that's just insane. I am very proud of them. 2024 is one of the most difficult years of my life, and this release rivals being a part of PAX East and PAX West panel in terms of how incredible this is. And as a result, I am in the credits of an officially released Switch game, and a damn good one at that. GoobnBalloonsDX is the debut title from brand new indie studio AquaTwist, partnering with Nextcraft and Acorn Games to bring this game across the globe. And I wanted to introduce you all to this wonderful game and why you shouldn't overlook it this year. But for full transparency, I was provided a free Steam code of the game by my good friends at AquaTwist. This is not a paid sponsorship. All of my opinions in this video are my own, and I'll remove any bias I have from this analysis. So with that said, let's begin. As soon as you boot up the game, you're greeted with a simple, yet friendly, title screen. The logo, as great as it is, doesn't match the final one used for the game's marketing or console menus, such as on the Nintendo Switch. It's a minor nitpick, but I'm surprised this inconsistency was not addressed, especially since the new logo was redesigned to be used for multiple different languages. Regardless, both logo designs break up the different parts of the title with color coding. The sky blue of Goob matches the titular character, and the orange for balloons matches the bully enemies you fight throughout the game. The N in between Goob and balloons is purple, as it's one of the two colors in the middle of blue and orange on a traditional color wheel. The dark starry sky is a great choice too, as it makes players curious of what is beyond it. Once you press a button, you fall down and land on the ground of Goobstar, the main planet of the game, where you see the main menu. All the buttons on the main menu are full of personality, allowing the different modes to be easily distinguished between each other. The button layout forms a nice semicircle shape too. The sharp angled button design reminds me of the UI design in games from Masahiro Sakurai and his wife Michiko, especially in the Super Smash Bros. Series. But GoobnBalloonsDX takes these buttons a step further by adding in the characters, and in the case of the quit button, cute animations too. But adding in the characters to the buttons themselves takes GoobnBalloons a step further and makes each button more unique. Now that we've looked at the main menu, let's explore all the gameplay modes. Arcade mode is unlocked after completing the first stage in Goob Odyssey. Here, you must pop balloons in the sky before they hit you and score the highest amount of points possible. There are a variety of stages to choose from, each with their own unique mechanics and settings. However, not all the stages are available from the start. You unlock them by either progressing through Goob Odyssey or reach a certain score depending on the stage. I don't know why, but when I see the blurred out backgrounds of the locked stages, it makes me nostalgic for those demo versions of Xbox Live Arcade titles on the 360. You're given a peek of what the levels will be, but won't know for sure until you've unlocked them. The levels are organized based on their difficulty, from the top level being the easiest to the bottom one being the most difficult. As you unlock these levels, the difficulty gradually increases, so this organization works well here. With that said, let's start with some Goob. Immediately, the arcade influence in the core UI design is apparent, grouping the score and player icons together on the left-hand side of the screen. The player icons even update to match the color of a character, which is a nice touch. Don't let the cute art style fool you. The center of the screen can quickly get overwhelming, with all the balloons flying in. Grouping all the important HUD info in the top left keeps player eyes oriented towards the center of the screen, instead of having to look all around to keep track during gameplay. The hand-drawn inspired font used for the score and timer and navy blue outline is relaxing to the eyes, while contrasting nicely against the backgrounds. But the timer, score, and objective score all use a similar font style. This blends all the elements together and can make it difficult to distinguish at a quick glance. Even just having the timer font be a different color would be enough to visually separate these elements, especially since the different fonts used are slightly similar to each other. Anyways, zooming out of the UI for a second, you can easily see the influence from a different game, Bird&Beans. For those of you who don't know, Bird&Beans is a recurring microgame in the WarioWare series. You play as the bird Puro. Yes, that Puro, which got nuked to the ground by the Nintendo Ninjas earlier this year. Puro must catch beans which fall down from the sky by using his tongue before it hits him. Sound familiar? If you look at the original version of GoobnBalloons, made for the 2022 Go Godot Jam, the UI of both games is strikingly similar to each other. Both games use a looping, polka dot background and thick white outlines on curved rectangle buttons. almost making you think this was a spiritual successor being developed by Nintendo themselves. Even the arrow on the borders pointing towards Goob is the exact same one used for Pyro in Bird&beans. However, with the enhanced edition released for modern platforms, GoobnBalloonsDX takes advantage of being a fully fleshed out title and evolves its UI, while still retaining the core design philosophy of its inspirations. Now, let's move on to Goob Odyssey, the core mode of this game. It's a story campaign featuring dozens of stages, similar to the events in the Super Smash Bros. Series, and multiple bosses too. In Goob Odyssey, you traverse through an overworld map similar to those found in 2D Mario games. The animations for Goob and his friends are adorable. They're just little pals going on an adventure. Traversing between each stage of the map is a bit sluggish, but it gives you time to notice the beautifully hand-drawn backgrounds and world design. You can unlock the accessories by completing certain stages, which are indicated by flagpoles. Each stage displays a banner indicating its name, objective, and the characters you're able to use for such stage. It would have been cool if there were more stages which limited the amount of characters you could play, as most of Goob Odyssey lets you use all, if not most of, the cast. Speaking of Mario Influence, the World Select screen reminds me of the one used in New Super Mario Bros. Wii, with the black background and large world icons. The cursor is patted to the platform from Goobstar Heights, carrying all the playable characters like a ship. I love how charming this is. It's more unique than a basic cursor hovering over a UI button. Small features like these go a long way for making game UIs more fun to interact with, especially for younger audiences, which GoobnBalloonsDX seems to be appealing to. However, once you open up the World Select screen, you're required to choose a world to travel to from one of the 3 zones. If you press the back button, it doesn't close this menu. It actually brings you back to the title screen. This flaw in the game's UX can make it frustrating for players who want to return to the overworld map. Even worse, there's no screen which compiles all the levels in a world, and the medal you've got. Games like Super Mario Bros. Wonder are enjoyable and fun to 100%, even for non-completionists, because this feature easily tracks completion progress. Unfortunately, that's not the case for Goob, where you have to go all across the map tracking down the different levels to find ones you haven't played yet or need to get a better medal on. Each time you complete a stage in Goob Odyssey, you're given either a bronze, silver, or gold medal, depending on how well you complete an objective. However, the specific criteria for getting said medals, be it the amount of points needed or the amount of time for finishing a level, is not indicated anywhere in the game. This makes hunting for gold medals an incredibly frustrating guessing game, where for some stages I don't understand how it can do even better, especially since some accessories are tied to the amount of medals you obtain from these worlds. This really needs to be patched eventually. Unlocking accessories from completed specific stages also is another weird UX quirk. Mashing the confirm button during these sequences puts you back in the stage again, which can be really annoying. It only makes sense to enable the confirm button once this message goes away, especially for speedrunners or TikTok brainrot zoomers like me who want to play through the game as quickly as possible. It's annoying having to force yourself to let go of the controller until after the unlock message disappears. For the bosses in Goob Odyssey, the difficulty selection UI is diegetic to the world. You must shoot down either the normal or easy balloon to fight the boss in that respective difficulty. This is genius! As the balloons take a few seconds to shoot down, it provides players plenty of time to make their decision. So if a player decides mid-shot they want to select the easy difficulty instead, they can just stop shooting, then shoot the easy balloon. Unlike, let's say, Cuphead, where you select a button to choose a difficulty and you can't change it until you exit the level. For each boss in Goob Odyssey, Goob introduces their name with a unique banner. I love games that go all out for introducing bosses like this. It's one of my favorite parts of games, honestly. It hypes me to fight them and try my best to take them down. Similar to River City Girls, these banners match their personality and design. From the elegance of the Queen and King balloon to the decayed wooden sign of the Maw, all of these banners fit perfectly. And as you progress through Goob Odyssey, the characters you unlock can now be found on the main menu. This is a nice touch to indicate the progress you've made throughout the game, motivating me to unlock all the characters so I can see what cool animation they'll have on the main menu. The hand-drawn art by Veronica Hazen, animations by Chris Camp, Ben Pelosic, and Allure Elite help make Goob's UI shine. You can tell that this is a passion project, but regardless of where you find these characters, be it on social media or within the game itself, they are drawn with love. Iconic Arts is clearly giving their cute characters with all the care they deserve. Their simplistic, but easily identifiable and distinguishable silhouettes is critically important for a new IP, especially one developed for a family-friendly audience where a diverse range of players can enjoy.
Let's briefly touch on the extras menu. The background in these submenus is also really cute, featuring a pink and white checkerboard design. It features a smooth, curving animation which is nice to look at, and gives these menus more polish than typical static backgrounds. It matches the cozy, friendly vibes of the world of Goob without being too overstimulated or in your face. And I'm not an achievement hunter, but it's still nice to have an indie game featuring in-game achievements. It incentivizes me to keep playing and helps give the game more replay value in this bite-sized experience. Look at Coffee Talk, for example. Even if I don't get all the achievements, it's still a satisfying feeling seeing the in-game achievement appear as it's being accomplished, which isn't always the case. It's also nice for me as a Switch player, as Nintendo still hasn't put system-wide achievements in their consoles for almost 20 years. And finally, the settings. On Steam, there's an option to switch between different control UI input prompts based on if you have a Xbox, Switch, or PlayStation controller. Most PC games switch the UI automatically, so it would have been nice if Goob did the same. And as this game is designed with the controller in mind, there isn't an option to display UI prompts for a keyboard at all. I understand the auto switching would have been difficult to implement, especially since it would have had to be turned off for the console releases. However, not having any keyboard UI prompts makes the game less accessible to PC players accustomed to playing on keyboard. And since the keyboard can still be used as a second player on PC, not knowing the keyboard inputs can be especially frustrating.
So, what'd you think? Hopefully this convinces you to pick up the game and squeeze into your backlog. It's available now on Steam, Epic Games, PlayStation, Xbox, and yes, even the Switch. For less than a modern McDonald's meal, you have a colorful shoot-'em-up experience and a variety of unique stages with co-op play, which can be a struggle to find in most AAA games nowadays. If you made it this far in the video, type Goob in the comments below. Be sure to like this video, share this video, and subscribe if you want to see more UI Spy videos like this. Thank you for watching, and go play some Goob. Bye.